All right, let's do a quick little sound check. How we doing? Can you guys hear okay? My sound coming through? Give me a little heads up in the comments. Maxie with the good reminder here. Looks like it's coming through on my end. As long as you guys can hear, we're good. Good. I see. Good. Very nice. Very nice. Hello, Clive. Clive reminds me of Clyde Brogue. Good to see you guys. Already got some questions coming in. Very happy to see this. We got a question here from Mike M. What's up, Mike? Nice name, dude. He says the other day you were talking about Fed bank rates related to Besson. Yeah, that was like back beginning of back beginning of August. Like Besson was saying something about like possibly. So like, I don't know exactly how it works. It's not explicit, right? So like the federal government, if like the Federal Reserve Bank, because it's not really a, I don't know, it's not a real bank, right? And it's not it's not an independent arm. It sets its own things, but like if the federal government, like if it starts to move out of policy alignment with the federal government, like there are emergency measures that the federal government can take to, I don't know, get stuff working again with the Fed, but maybe that's bad. Like, but there's also like the banking cartel can do things about that, which could be bad. Like if a president just comes in and it's just like, we're sending rates to zero, like the banking cartel, DTCC can just be like, no, I don't know. But I think the response to Besson's comments was more the idea that they were possibly going to remove Powell. Was like the idea they were going to remove Powell and push for like a 50 basis point cut. So like that's why I think it's like 12% now or something like that. It's not like a guaranteed percentage or anything. It's not like Besson can go straight ahead and do that. But I don't know. Pressure. I don't know. I don't know how they calculate the probabilities. There's some probability wizards who do a statistic, and then they're like, "We did the statistic. Look, here's the statistic. Now it's probability." How do you estimate the probability that Powell will cut? I don't know. But good question. I like this from Top Goose. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Let's check out a question from Alexander W. A theoretical question in terms of cash per share times 2 calculation. If the company were to come into possession of $5 billion in NOL, what is an NOL? What is an NOL? I'm going to learn. Net operating loss. What do you mean by come into possession? Do you mean if they were to lose $5 billion? I guess it would do the same thing. Oh, excuse me. Oh. I guess it would do the same thing that getting $5 billion would do. But, the inverse. But I don't know where you see that happening. But just hypothetically, if they were to lose $5 billion, yeah. What's up, Day Swag? Enjoy that work day, sir. Guido's here. What's up, Guido? Always love that Donkey Kong picture. Tom's here. What's good, Tom? What's up, sir? Yes, I'm happy to be streaming once again, Mr. Joshua. Mr. Joshua. Get Folk. I also love GameStop. It is a pretty cool company, I gotta say that. It's still the only company I trade. Yeah, I just saw that, Clive. That was pretty cool. That was really fun. That was a little classic Udge right there. Let's blow this sucker up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That may have been. What was it? 145. Oh, that was swap margin clear. That's what that was. Somebody got margin called. That's what that was. Somebody was short on their margin on a swap and had to got margin called. That's the 145. Anytime you see a spike like that at 1:45 p.m., that is the swap clear intraday margin call. That is what that is. That call must be met by 2:30. So somebody just somebody had to even up their margin balance on a swap. Somebody knew. Yeah, somebody knew they had to do that, and then also like opened up a bunch of. That's the thing. Okay, maybe what they did in order to hedge those derivatives was they opened a bunch of other kinds of derivatives in the forms of options, and then that was hedging in relation to that. So it could be, yeah, could be that Shinsasu. 500,000 calls. Let's look at what that looked like on the flow chart here. As long as it will load for us. Bring that up. Let's go. This just come in. Wait, that was 245. Wait, was that 245 or that 145? That was 245, not 145. So that was not swap clear margin call. Yeah, so that may have just been pure flow there. It's on the way up too here. Who just picked this up? We get that all come in as a big order. Let's look at this. Sort by premium. Somebody bought a bunch of $13 calls. Let's see this. Yeah, somebody bought some 25s for this leap trade. Decent size. Not that much, but decent size. Pick that up. Let's go time. That was like 20 minutes ago. Oh, yeah, this here probably. No, it's too late. Back a bit. Clear. Show me just calls. Scroll back a bit here. Too many. Not showing up. Let's go. Size bigger than 5K. Maybe that should help us show up. Yeah. Yeah, this. Whoa, that's cool. Whoa, yeah, October stuff just all came in. 21s. A lot of this is all in the money stuff too, actually. So it means it's got to get hedged. Big flow alert. Yep. Big flow alert. A lot of stuff. Very interesting. Yeah, so we're going up, dudes. What'd I say? Bunch here for June at the mid. Oh yeah, man, tons of 35s. December. All this coming in. Very interesting. We're hanging up here above the 20-minute. Very cool, very cool, very cool. Yeah, I think as I was saying earlier, this is kind of, who was I saying this to? I was saying this to somebody. I think this is pretty much like in terms of price action today. Maybe I even talked about this in the video today. I don't remember. But the implied move based on RIV is like $2-ish. Like, unless the company loses money, I don't see how we go down $2 off this move, because that's going to put us at below the minimum for the second convertible bond offering. I think I talked about that in the video. So that's going to be difficult. I do not see that. I do not see that happening. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Mr. Thetabucks. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can just go through the Buy Me a Coffee link. That's what I do for all voluntary donations of the sort. So should be in the description. Maybe I didn't put it in the description of this, but I usually put it in the description of my videos. It's like if you go in the profile description, you can find a link over there. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Hey, Dub2. What's up, man? Oh. That's what you meant by acquiring a loss of 5 billion. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going on with the BBY stuff. I saw they were like running a little bit the other day, weren't they? Yeah, they are. Not like a lot, not a ton, but they are running. They're on a little bull recovery up to like $11. Not bad. Highest they've been in a while. But don't know what's going on there. I would not expect that GameStop would become involved with them. Hey, random YouTube user, what's up, man? I do need a coffee. It is late here. I've been dealing with problems with my move, by the way. So fun fact, I am in the process of moving to the Republic of Cyprus for a postdoctoral fellowship that I'm starting. But very interestingly, this is not something I expected. There's a lot of apartment owners here who are very interested in various property tax fraud schemes. And I'm learning this. I'm not used to dealing with people who are trying to commit property tax fraud. And it's also a weird kind of property tax fraud, because usually when you think of things like offshore sites for money like Cayman Islands or something like that, what's being attempted is property tax fraud against the home country. But what's very strange here is that foreigners want to come to Cyprus and commit property tax fraud against the Cyprus government, which is very strange. I was like, wait, you want to come here and commit property tax fraud? And you would like me to sign a non-legally binding contract as an accomplice to your property tax fraud and then pay you in cash? I don't think so. That is not how I prefer to rent my apartments. So, word to the wise for anybody out there who's interested in coming to Cyprus for anything besides an Airbnb. Be careful, friends. Thank you, sir. We are. I can't speak for Richard, but I can speak for myself and say that you know, it's a mutual relationship. The community is what if it weren't for the community right building up around this, I wouldn't know about GameStop. I wouldn't know about any of this going on. So you know, it's a two-way street. I'll say that. But I'm very lucky to have this sort of community around this done. I wouldn't have any of the success I'd be having if it weren't for you guys. So thank you. Ooh, I didn't know that, Mike. That's very cool. Probability on the FedWatch tool is based on federal funds futures market. Did not know that. That's cool. That's a good way to do that. Hey, Pro Styles. What's up, man? Just streaming, continuing my apartment hunt, trying to avoid property tax fraud. Trying to avoid being an accomplice to property tax fraud. Yeah, I'm not sure if they pick that up. That seems like a lot to try to. I don't know how that would work. I do not know how that would work. Hey, all right. Hey, here's hoping your coworker's independent decision plays out in their favor. Hey, Gamma Chad, what's up, man? Hey, Sharon, good to see you. When's the big action? I think we're getting the earnings report is probably going to drop like between 4 and 4:30 is usually when it comes out. Something like that. We're getting a little fun right now, eh? Up in the 2340s again. It's pretty cool. Like I said earlier, I think this type of move into the close is good. Hanging out in the 23s, mid 23s today is nice. Very hard time seeing us down at 21.20 or something, you know. Hey, what's up, MTD? Saw, dude. Bodlondeb. That sounds like a emperor of the Mughals, like Aurangzeb. Bodlondeb. The reborn Mughal dynasty. These levels, really? Short puts or long puts? Yeah, I talk to I say hello to Richard periodically. Last 3 months felt like 1 year. Felt like a while, right? Remember? Oh man, remember back? I think I was in Greece for the last earnings report. Remember doing that? I was visiting my goddaughter. Very nice. Yeah. That's right. That's right. The BBBY is BYON that just recently changed their ticker, I think. But it like merged data or something with old BBBY. Something like that. Let's close this. How do we close this? Yeah. It like merged. Something like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think I think that would like if all of a sudden the company were for some crazy disastrous reason take a $5 billion loss. It might be. I think that would be bad. Like it'd be super bad because like then that would make the bondholders would be like, money back. No, something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I won't speculate. I don't know, but yeah. Ew. I don't know. I don't necessarily know what this is in response to, Master, but it sounds funny. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like this is the first. This is I think the first earnings I've seen in a while that MSM has been like has been. I don't want to say bullish because that's not exactly right. But they've had to acknowledge that the company will turn a profit like ahead of time in a meaningful way. They keep like talking about Bitcoin though. They're still on that. Video game retailer and original meme stock GameStop reports second quarter results after market close Tuesday. GameStop reports second quarter results after market close, set to report on the market. Okay, said that 3 times. Okay, I got it. Here we go. Quote, GameStop is no longer a retailer burning cash. It has become a lean, profitable, cash generating shell with a fortress balance sheet. An ex user who goes by Han Akamatsu. Oh, no. See, look. Listen. I will hold my peace there. I think I have a suspicion. I can't know, right? Certainly, pox to Han Akamatsu. I won't say anything. I won't say anything. It's very interesting that he was quoted by an MSM article. Very interesting. What do I know? Hopefully it's just because he's a very prominent account. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to take the high road. I'm going to say hopefully he is a very prominent account, and they just went with the. I hope so. The cynic in me is. Yeah, property tax fraud. Weird, but in writing, because so like here's the thing with the Cyprus real estate market. It's like if you declare that a property that you're buying is going to be your primary residence, you only have to pay 5% tax on the purchase. So it's a 5% value added tax. If you're going to use it as an investment property and rent it out, you have to pay 19%. And if you transition from using it as a primary residence to an investment property, then the 14% tax becomes due. So, what many owners prefer to do is list the residence as their primary residence and then give out contracts to prospective tenants, but those contracts can't be legally binding because it's not legal for the owner to lease out the property. And then they'll have stuff like payments delivered in cash and things like that. It's like, I don't think so. We're not going to do that. Yeah. Oh, that's the trust me, bro. That's the trust me, bro. Yeah. That's the trust me, bro. That's the trust me, bro. That is the final form of trust me, bro. That's also very interesting. Let's take a look. Guido. Hop over to XRT. How do we get to XRT? GMU. Here we go. How's that? Should be able to see that, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good call, Guido. Yesterday, it got down pretty low, down about 100,000 shares. Is borrow rate going up? Fee is starting to go up a little bit. Fee is still very low. Do we have FTDs? What are FTDs looking like? 731 to 84. When do those come due? 731. 731, we have T plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be the 8th. Then we have calendar 35 days, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. 35 is end of this week. And then next week, T plus 4. So, oh yeah, actually next week from the 15th to the 18th is also, and then another overlap for a day. Yeah, actually right around when we're going to get the interest rate stuff. These right here, these fails for XRT. Going by the Bernoulli formula, these fails for XRT need to be settled by the market maker. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, Spock Gamma is what I would recommend. That is where I learned it. And then, what I would say is then take their analytical tools, like take a look at how they actually do their analyses, and then just try it out yourself. And then look at it, bet on it on a regular basis. That's what I would recommend. That's what I did. I was just like, does this work? And then I bet on it many weeks in a row. And then, use that as my primary source of income. So that is a way of testing its usefulness. Is to do that, right? So, but Spock M is what I'd recommend. Those are my recommendations if you want to learn about GEX and market maker hedging. Hey there, Michael. Nice name. Yeah, I mean, that's a fine, right? I think we said we were going to talk about this a little bit ahead of time here too. Yeah, right. I mean, it depends what you mean by leaps. There's probably a number of different things. There's a number of contracts that'll probably work. 25 for October or for January. That's something is kind of on my radar. October. So October and January for two reasons, right? October because we still have right now. There's still a lot of call OI that's concentrated around that particular price level at that point. So it does look like that is forming up as a call wall at that point. If we shoot up tomorrow and it's like we're at $25, those are going to be like $3 I think per contract, the October 17s are going to be like $3-ish, maybe a little bit more. So what you're doing is you're effectively, you're selling it at like 28. 28 is, you think it's going to be under $28 October 17th, or at least some point within there. Fair bet, right? That's a fair bet. Plus, you get quite a bit of cash now if you want to buy a dip. If there is a dip because of an offering, you get that. Either you can just put that into shares, more shares, or you can exit the contract, right? You can exit the contract for a hefty profit, like we did with the past two offerings. If they don't do an offering, there's still the chance that they would, the market maker would try to control the price before OPEX to try to keep that close to 25. In which case, selling in October 17 for somewhere in the threes, you could still, even if we're around like $26 or $27 mid-October because of a pump from the interest rate swap hedging, then you're still up on those, right? And then if you want to roll them, you can roll them out to January if you want. And the rationale, I think, for the January is there is a chance that all of a sudden just every earnings, right, there are no more offerings and earnings just crushes it. Q2 crushes it. Q3 in December crushes it. And it's just, oh, wow, they're making money now. They're making interest on that, right? They're probably going to post like 75 million in profit from just their cash pile. Bitcoin, I think, is going to show some unrealized profits, probably, 20, 30 million. So they're going to show like 100 million in profit from investments, just investments. Then the actual business, the core business is going to show profit from, we won't see too much from power packs. We will see revenue from expanding trading card business and grading services. And obviously Switch 2 sales are going to be very good. Nintendo had really good profits. So GameStop is probably going to see some of that, right? So the January rationale is, okay, there is a risk that you do get kind of caught in, a Q3, like a good Q3 earnings report. But the idea in terms of theory, right, in terms of what we're looking at, seasonally here for swaps is we'd be getting close to another price cycle where they'd have to go ahead and close some of this stuff. So like this, right? Oh, excuse me. If we run up again here, need to take us down a little bit. Again, right, you can always roll. I think I like the October, right? For me, as far as a play coming out of, if I'm betting on an offering, if we move up, we don't hear any news regarding not doing an offering tomorrow during the day, and we run up to 25, 26. I don't mind the October 17, $25 for a cover call trade. I don't mind that. Not saying that you should go out and do that, but I don't mind that. Oops, excuse me. I don't mind that as a trade. Ancient Sumerian art. I never did, but Boabdal or Bob Lemon. No, Bonlondeb. Yeah, it does. It does. It's like Sumerian. Aurangzeb is what I thought of with the Mughals. Same, Guido. That would be fun. That'd be fun if we could do that. It'd be tight. Yeah, I saw GMEU back on Reg Show. Somebody was posting about that in the comments in the video earlier today. Very good. XRT back there. Yeah, we got GMEU. We got GMEY now. this is a good, like, I think seeing these ETFs come into play, I hesitate to, but I would imagine these are good signs. Why are these good signs? Because right, the street is building funds to likely take advantage of uh, of a big bull cycle. That's what these funds are for. Um, they know that institutions will go ahead and start moving the stock up, and that's what these funds are for. Hmm. I'm not sure. Hey, Dingus Pingus. I'm sorry if I missed your message. Not sure you saw my post because I'm sure yeah, there will be a bond sale with the main reason being the dynamics of the pricing window. Yeah, elaborate on that for us. Why do you think so? I'm interested to hear. Why do you think there will be a bond sale? I think there's a good chance of one, but if you have some insight, yeah, I'd love to hear it. Hey, what's up, Ken? What's up, man? Good to see you. Uh, hey, it's Ken. He's back, guys. We missed him. We're glad you're back, Ken. 8 cents. Yeah, where are we closing? Where are we closing today? Are we up? I feel like we're up. Still down a little bit. We'll probably close right on like the 50-minute right here. Something like that. I'm excited. We're gonna go. We're gonna go all over the place as soon as GameStop announces earnings, and it's gonna go down, and then it'll do its thing. It's gonna do its thing, guys. It's gonna do its thing. Hey, what's up, Hoogie? That'd be tight. I would love to see them beat on revenue and EPS. That'd be very good. You guys want to go through? I like Region's breakdown. Region had a good breakdown here. See if I can find it. Oh, I love this meme. These are the best. I love the best one is still the one with Roaring Kitty though. When he's wearing the bandana and the sunglasses and the cast on his arm. Yeah, I love this meme. This is a fave. This is a fave meme at 21st Century Renaissance. Let's see if we can find rigid formals breakdown here. Here we go. He always does a good job with this stuff. Nice, like his the blue box ones here. Yeah, right. So big, important part, right? Important reminder here is that right now we are going into not only Switch 2, like not only a console cycle with Switch 2, but in the next couple of years, we're going to be getting next Xbox, next PlayStation, next whole console thing, console cycle. All these consoles are going to be coming out. So what we get started here is something that could, it'll repeat for a console cycle, but going out maybe 3 years. I think that's more or less what Roaring Kitty pointed out too in his live stream last year. Looking at maybe topping out on this particular cycle. 2027 doesn't mean GameStop won't sustain itself going forward there, but the console cycle portion, maybe we got like 3 years to see that top out. Yes. Yeah, we got him. We got him. He's over on being quoted on MSM. Yeah. But let me blow up Region's thing here. So yeah, quarterly revenue doubled over at Nintendo. 6 million units to Switch 2. Sold following the June launch. Also, there's pre-sale stuff, right? GameStop took pre-sale stuff from April, so that's going to show up on this quarter too. Net sales 901 he's projecting. Cost of sales 647. Gross margin 28%. This is good. See this cut down this way. Not going to have the sale unless they announce that they sold like the Australian operations, then asset impairments are going to be nothing. And he makes a good point here, right? Were it not for the asset impairments that we had for the sale of the French and Canadian operations, then we'd be looking at, yeah, the business would have been profitable. Would have been profitable last quarter. It would have shown that the core business showed operational profit, were it not for the asset impairments. Which more or less lines up with what Ryan Cohen said. The core business is profitable. And now we have Switch 2 revenue, and we have the boosted continued progress with the trading card market. So it's going to look good. It's going to look good. I think this is known, right? This is known. Our price action leading into this is more or less suggestive to me that, this is poised, right, for a bullish reaction. Oh, the market reacted bullish to GameStop earnings. Man, everybody's been buying for months, dude. Going into earnings at Morningstar fair value, like closed yesterday there. Patrick knows what I was going to say in the Hans fair. That's all right. Pox. Yeah, Pox. Oh, I'm lagging. I'm lagging behind the chat a little bit here. Pox is in peace. Pace in the Italian. Look, to return to this briefly. It's not a real person's face. Hanakamatsu, that's also not his name. I know, you don't necessarily have to have that, but it's an AI portrait. I have attempted to ask some deeper questions about some of the stuff he was saying about the convertible bonds. Wasn't necessarily satisfied with what he did or did not say. It sort of struck me a couple times, like some of the stuff he was saying seemed like they were kind of reduced from Grok related things. But look, I don't want to say yay or nay. I just hard to get a beeline on the guy. His account came up. I mean, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, because also I came out of nowhere, right? So that's not necessarily a disqualifying factor. But got very big. Definitely knew how to use, the whole threads thing, not threads, but the threads thing, it's fine. But didn't quite connect with him on some of the stuff he was talking about at times. And it's sort of, I'm just wary. Is all. And now they choose his profile to quote in the MSM now that we're starting to go bullish. He's a lot of GME accounts, right, are very like always sad but truthful. You will never see always sad but truthful quoted in an MSM article. Okay. You will never see Ultimator quoted in an MSM article, right? Because like it's not that Han isn't talking about stuff that has to do with GameStop, but it's stuff that fits within the comfortable sphere of what you can and cannot talk about, right? There's some things, right? You know, I've based on some of my own adventures and explorations in here, right? I mean, not just Reddit, but in terms of brokerage stuff. I will say, right, don't forget that this is a casino, and if you win too hard, you can get banned. If you win too hard, you can get banned. You know, some of these places that have, you know, agreements with pay for order flow, models, right? Part of the shutting off the buy button thing, but individual accounts, right? If you win too hard, you're not supposed to do that. Recently learned about Rule 390. Rule 390, very interesting bit. It's not a piece of legislation. It's not a legal thing. But in fact, let me bring up this image here, just to put it on your radar, because I'm sure I certainly hadn't heard about it. But it's worth pointing this out. I sent this to some friends very recently. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah. Can I put this in the chat? Oh, I don't think I can do that. I'm going to do Rule 390. Here it is. Rule 390. Make this bigger. 390 professional orders rule for options traders. What this rule says is if you enter more than 390 orders in a day, you will be marked a professional trader. And once you have a professional trader tag, your orders are de-incentivized versus retail. So when you send in your order is tagged as retail. You have a retail tagged account. It's linked to your account. Whenever you send in an options order, it is tagged retail or pro or something else. If you place more than 390 orders in a day, your account will come up for review, and someone at a trading desk will go ahead and take a look and see if you have exceeded that number. If you've exceeded that number, your orders will be deprioritized when your trades are sent to market makers, when your trades are sent to exchange. People will know that your order is coming from somebody who makes money trading. That's sort of the idea there, right? So if it's a retail trade, right, the idea there is, okay, if it's a retail trader making this retail trader probably doesn't know what they're doing. This is probably a bad trade, statistically speaking. But if they go, this is coming from somebody who makes hundreds of trades a day, this person probably knows what they're doing. Be careful taking this trade from them. So you get flagged. Okay. If you do this too hard, so if you do this, right? So recently, this happened to my account, right? Nobody will tell you, but this happened to my account very recently, right? So I've been flagged by Rule 390, pretty sure. Nobody's told me, but pretty sure. If you get flagged with this, and I've seen people talk about this in particular online. If you get flagged with this, and before you got flagged, you won too hard, you can get your account banned. They will just discontinue your account. And the question is, why, right? They'll tell you right here. Why does Rule 390 exist? Why does having a high number of orders actually matter? They tell you right here. The purpose of the 390 rule is to prevent non-professional traders from behaving as market makers. First sentence. The market makers are allowed to act like market makers. You are not. You are not. You cannot use their strategy. If they figure out you're using your strategy, they will throttle your account. You will get blacklisted. If you, in that process, do it too hard, if you say piss off the wrong market makers, you're gone. You can go to a brokerage that then doesn't do a pay for order flow model, and they can decide whether they want your account or not. But, keep in mind that whatever you sign up for, link to a social security number. So anyway, my point of talking about this is I recently learned about this. And this is, every time we stumble on stuff, you take time, experiment, play at the margins, play at the borders, try to look through the cracks, see what's going on. Sometimes you stumble on stuff like this. Never forget that there is, we talk about this, you see influencers talk about this, you see this come up on X. Somebody who talks about this will not come up. You will not see this come up. An individual trader finding out that they can behave like a market maker and then getting their account shut down for that. Well, begs the question, right? Why? Why would an individual account, number one, be able to act like a market maker? But number two, why would they be shut down for that? Why are market makers allowed to, but an individual account is not? Makes you wonder. But this type of stuff you will not see quoted. You will not see this quoted. You will not see accounts talk about this. You will not see accounts that talk about derivatives. You will not see accounts that talk about derivatives hedging and how that affects this and that. You will not see accounts like Richard's that would talk about delayed settlement, that, the settlement rules. You won't see that. You will not. VSUS. Sus AF. Oh yeah, Pulte. I remember Pulte. What is this, Maxie? What is this? Stock wizard, red on portfolio, dangerous, friends turn enemy, obligation appear, wise men apply chains, Doc will ride the green share. do you know Mandarin? Or wait, it wouldn't be Mandarin. He's supposed to be Japanese, isn't he? Oh, we just get a fee update on XRT? No. It has gone up a little bit. Not that much. Yeah, Spot Gamma. Spot Gamma. Spot Gamma has a proprietary service, right? So I learned how to use their methods, right, to forecast price action through the options market by going through Spot Gamma stuff. Very cool concept. They have a glossary of terms. So some of the terms that I use, you can find in their site in particular. They're based in Easton, Connecticut, pretty sure, which is where my grandma's house was when I was a kid. Yeah, check them out. I've used older versions of their platforms to get an idea of what data they in particular used. I did a year subscription to their platform before Unusual Whales was widely available in the way that it was. It got very expensive, and I do not. it's much more helpful if you are an index trader. If you trade index options, Spot Gamma probably can't be beat in terms of what they can offer. And they have continued to add features in that regard. They haven't so much gone down. They do have Equities Hub within their platform, but I don't think they've spent as much time developing that. And the thing is, options positioning it's a lot. The hedging is a lot easier to predict on the indices. You don't get that delayed settlement stuff coming into play, I think, as egregiously with the indices. So you don't have to take that stuff into account. It's also a much larger amount of money is sloshing around that stuff, so it's harder, I think, for a major institution to push that around to some degree. Whereas with GameStop being a mid-cap equity, I guess now it's pushing into large cap territory. Individual equities, it's easier to manipulate than SPY. Yeah, I don't know about that, Ken. I don't know what RK's position is. Maybe he is off trading you. Unity has been ripping, so maybe the read that otherwise Category 42 had on him was correct. Maybe he went off and he's doing. I mean, that guy was tracking a ton of tickers. I would be surprised if GameStop was the only thing he was trading. Part of the reason why his comeback last year was so effective is because it looked, I'm sure, too many as though he was not involved in it anymore. So he may be doing something like that where he'll just pop up at a year or two down the road and just be like, surprise, I'm back, right? That's more or less my thoughts, my disposition on that. So we do have Newton's red swap coming up post earnings. So this is why I think there's still a chance that we could get some kind of offering, right? So that's what, curious to see what Dingus Pingus thought about that. I think that could be, if Cohen knows about the stuff, and I think he does. I think he does know about the swaps. He could go ahead and do an offering, as a way to sort of humor that to the company's advantage, right? So 30-cent beat would be cool. We're going to find out pretty soon, eh? We got to get this page going. Couple more minutes, probably. It'll show up there. I'm not familiar with a call back spread. I do not know what that is. Let's find out. Huh? Very bullish seasoned option strategy. Sell a call, strike price A, buy 2 calls, strike price B. Generally, the stock will be at or around the strike price of A. Interesting. So you profit. Oh, it just has to be very profitable. So you buy calls, you sell an at the money call, and then you buy 2 out of the money calls. So that If the stock goes nowhere or down, you profit a little bit. If the stock goes up just a bit, you lose. But if the stock goes up a lot, then like you really get going. Never tried that strategy before. Interesting. Yeah. I think I did this. I'm just lagging behind comments. Let me go down to the bottom here so I can get up to, oh my gosh, so many comments. I love this. It's not delayed. I'm just getting the comment. There's so many comments. It's giving me time to, let me go down. Let me go down. I'll work backwards this way. Thank you, Clive. For November, it kind of is at this point. Yeah. Yeah. They did this last year too. They really delayed the November, December stuff until October, like until end of September, after September OPEX. They delayed it. And they also squashed it. So if we get a really squashed options chain, like in November, I think it only went up, when they first put it out, it only went up to $29. So when they come out with certain options chains, it's going to reflect, I think, how they want to frame what's coming up, how they want people to buy options early on. They don't want people selling or buying options this early yet. I do not have FOMO. I do not have FOMO because it's part of my philosophy. It's part of my strategy, right? To know one stock really well, to say, to try to go for a depth approach, and to see what that yields. And yeah, very, very interestingly, that's yielded some very, very fruitful results, I would say, in my case here. And it also encourages me to take a strategy that, in most seasons, means I'm not necessarily staring at a stock screen all the time. I can do that. I'm not necessarily staring at charts all the time. I can do other things with my life. Premiums are very good for GameStop. I believe in the play, right? It's like, Berkshire with Geico. Just go all in on Geico. If Geico is going to moon, just like go all in on Geico, man. My objective is not to become as rich as possible. What GameStop offers me works. It meets my objectives. It meets my short, medium, and what I suspect will be long-term financial goals for the things that I want to do and the responsibilities that I have to meet in my life at this time. And so I don't have the need to go off and chase these other stocks. Apparently, right, the system calls me a professional trader, but I don't necessarily identify as such. I'm not trying to have a career in finance. I'm not trying to have a career as a trader. I'm not trying to market myself to the world as a trader. So no, for the meantime, I do not see a need to go out. I do not have a desire to, nor do I necessarily feel, I've been tempted, right? I was tempted when you was doing its stuff right around that earnings before it took off. I was like, do I buy you calls? And I was like, you know what? No, that's not my purpose here. That's not what I came to do. That's not what I am doing. Do not get distracted, right? It's the same philosophy behind having one wife. It's the same philosophy behind having one God, and a similar thing, right? And I'm trying to put what I understand, like the meta commonalities or meta structure of that motivated endeavor into what I'm doing in the context of investment and seeing what happens, right? You have one family, right? You have one set of kids, right? You can't trade them in for new ones. However they come out, like those are your kids. And you invest, see where it takes you, right? See where it takes you. That'd be cool. I would do that. That'd be very cool to see that. Oh, it would go nuts. Oh, here we go. Oh, earnings report is out. Oh, wow. There we go. Yeah. Hey, where'd we jump? Oh, nice. 52.19. Very cool. Special dividend? What? Special dividend? Special dividend? Oh, what is this? Warrants. Oh, boy. What? Special dividend to be distributed in the form of warrants to holders of the company's common stock as of October 3rd. Each registered shareholder as of the record date will receive one warrant for every 10 shares of GameStop common stock held, rounded down to the nearest whole warrant. Additionally, in lieu of an adjustment to the applicable conversion rate, holders of the company's convertible senior notes due 2030 and 2032 will each receive warrants on an as converted to common stock basis in accordance with the respective governing indenture. The company expects to distribute up to approximately 59 million warrants on or around Tuesday, October 7th. That's my birthday, dog. The warrants will be issued without any action required by the company's shareholders or note holders as of the record date and without any payment of cash or other consideration. Each warrant will entitle the holder to purchase one share of common stock at an exercise price of $32 at any time following the distribution date until the warrants expire on October 30th, 2026. Holders can only exercise a warrant by paying the exercise price to acquire the shares of common stock in cash. Following the distribution date, the warrants are expected to be freely tradable and listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker GME. Recipients of the warrants will be able to trade their warrants or exercise any warrants in accordance with the warrant agreement, irrespective of whether they continue to hold shares of common stock or convertible notes. Transaction provides GameStop shareholders the option to participate in the company's capital raising on a non-dilutive basis. If exercised, the warrants are expected to generate up to an approximately $1.9 billion of gross proceeds, which GameStop intends to use for general corporate purposes, including making investments in a manner consistent with GameStop's investment policies and potential acquisitions. Curveball. Yo, Chad, are we going nuts right now? Let's see this stuff. Oh, I can't even get it up on the it's not coming up. It's not coming up for me. I got to get it through. EPS beat 25 cents. Revenue beat 972 million over an estimate of 900. Adjusted EPS 25 per share over FactSet estimate of 19. Consensus estimate 16 cents. Holdings valued, Bitcoin holdings valued 528.6 million at the close of the second quarter. Okay. Wow. Okay. So Okay, guys. So every 10 shares of GameStop, what is it? Gets you one of these? So you get like, so this is an option. So this is like an option. So let's say you've got 2,000. Let's say you've got whatever 2,000 shares of GameStop. You're going to get issued on October 3rd if you hold those shares. You're going to get issued 200 warrants that can be converted to shares. They can be exercised for, I think, one warrant equals one share, at a price of $32. That's nuts. So you have, so every holder of GameStop stock or convertible bonds gets free $32 calls, free 1 year $32 calls on GameStop. Chat going nuts right now. It's so many. I can't even see, dudes. Just see this from Bernice. Keith Gill, God among gods. By one, everybody's got. Yes. Yeah. So they're going to be tradable. So you can trade them. They're going to be registered under a different ticker. I've told you, it's you get a $32 call. You have a free one share $32 strike price call for a year out. Everybody who has 10 shares, every 10. So if you have 10K, if you have 10,000 shares, you get 1,000 warrants. Yep. Where'd you see that quote, Sharon? Yeah, dude. And if you're short, wait, it's like if you're short the share, I think you have to transfer. Are you short the warrant too? If you're short GameStop, are you short the warrant is the question. So if you're not hedged, if your short's not hedged with something else, then you're also short GameStop. You're also short that derivative. Registered ticker is GME. What? GME WR, I think. They are not dilutive. It specifically says they are non-dilutive. But it's not going to be a created share. This is what they're saying. I don't know where they're coming from. Honestly, he probably sent me a message right now. He didn't. That's okay. Very curious. I'll send him one. I wonder if you can. Well, but that's the thing. You're not short it. You're not short the warrant. You're short the warrant if you are short the stock. But if you're long the stock, then you're long the warrants. So you're getting free 1 year. You're getting a free, yeah, what would it be? 10th of a $32 call for next October. This is what you're getting. Looks like no bonds, Seth. This is the type of thing that tells me no bonds. They're not going to do convertible bonds. So they're not going to do them. Unless they're selling stock. Where are they getting the stock from, though? It would be dilutive, but they're calling it non-dilutive. So what this is, it is like it says the transaction with an option to participate in the company's capital raising on a non-dilutive basis. So I think what's meant here, you're going to be able to trade this. You're going to be able to trade this warrant. Okay, so if there is someone who is short who needs to close out the position, you could hypothetically sell them your warrant. And then they can use it as a hedge. But you get the cash, right? You get the cash for that warrant like it's a share. Well, it's a derivative. Oh, yeah. Be careful there. Kansas City Shuffle is back. That's very interesting. There should only be 59 million warrants. That's another thing. That's going to be an interesting thing to sort out. There should only be 59 million warrants. Yeah, how do you price them? That's another question. maybe similar to 1/100th of a call. So the easiest thing I think to do would be like, let me look here. How far out can we go? Well, we can look at June for next year. What are the 32s at for June? So the 32s are at like $3 right now. So divide by 100, and each warrant would be worth like, yeah, each warrant would probably be worth like $3, is my guess. And you'll get 10 of them for every 100 shares you have. So if you have 100 shares, you're getting a $30 value dividend, is my guess. If you have 1,000, you're getting $300. If you got 10,000, you're getting $3K as a dividend in warrant value, something like that. 100K, you're getting 30K, you know. So you're getting paid out, let's see, percentage wise, what would that be? So 100 shares times, what is it now? $24 divided by 100 shares, you get 10 warrants, 30 times. Yeah, a couple percent. Right? I think something like that. I'm not sure what that means. Why would you? I don't know. If they want to raise more money, let them raise more money. Like, yeah, that's my guess. Something like that. So rather than taking what the actual price is and multiplying it by 100, so like a $32 call would cost you like $300 because it's multiplied by 100 shares. The warrant would cost you $3, and you'll get 10 of them for every 100 shares you have. So that would be like $30. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who gets the warrant if what comes up with loan. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think so. I think that means no additional bond offering. I think that's what that means. So doing this is their next capital raise thing that they're layering in. They're doing this instead of a bond offering. And then I guess we'll see how many of these warrants get exercised. And then my guess is once these get exercised, then they'll probably use that cash to do another bond offering. That's my guess. MOAS through warrants? Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to go right, so it depends how you want to define dilution. So there's a bunch of people who run around and like to say the word dilution because it infers that everybody's, the slice of the pie is getting less valuable. But the offerings that the company has done are not truly dilutive offerings. They're accretive offerings, because by doing the offerings, they acquire more value by simply doing the offering for the company than was intrinsically there prior. So just because institutions go out and short the company like heck as soon as the offerings are announced, doesn't actually decrease the intrinsic value of what's in the share. A lot of people misconstrue price for value, but it doesn't. They're not the same thing. Oh. Yep. Should come out to 1.9 billion. Yeah. There you go. I'm guessing it just shows up in your brokerage account. Yeah. $59, yeah. That's right. 59 million divided by 100. Yeah. 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 I wonder what's at play there. That would be cool. It reminds me of when Rocket. Y'all remember the Rocket squeeze? The Rocket squeeze was kind of like that. There was also the Ape dividend, but that was way less cool. Rocket squeeze was awesome. Rocket mortgage. And they got shorted again? They got shorted again. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, here we go. This is cool. Rocket squeeze. Yep. They announced the special dividend. Yeah, that's right here. Special dividend. See, looks a lot like actually what we just did last year with GameStop. But in March. The rocket squeeze. That was fun. I don't know if it would necessarily do something like that, but maybe it will. Ooh. Yeah, if it goes too high, actually. might be a way for shorts. It's a full float. No, is it equivalent to a full float? No, it's equivalent to 59 million shares. It's not a full float. It's 10%, or not a full outstanding. It's 10% of the current outstanding. I'm trying to think how many shares would have been shorted. Would have been more, maybe close to that number of shares would have been shorted for the convertible bonds. Convertible bond holders will get a 1/10 proportion, but that's not going to be enough if they all shorted it. They'll need to buy more, which they would have to then go ahead and buy from retail, essentially. Retail and other institutions. Very interesting. Yeah. I gotta actually break down though. I gotta take a look at this. Yeah, Rocket Squeeze didn't do this. There was the ape dividend. So AMC did something like this. I know the company which shall not be named. They did something like this with the ape dividend. That was kind of clear pandering though. But the ape dividend I think was a warrant. Yeah. I have to think about this, Dan. I'm not exactly sure. Because they've got all these auto convert prices like up in the 30s. I don't know what's going on with those. I don't know what the design is. And every time I try to find out what these auto converts are about, I get an explanation from somebody. Like I tried to talk to Han about that, and I just got something that didn't make sense. Thank you, Short Fridays. Kurt says if I have 1 million worth of GMA right now, and now I get another amount of shares through warrants, and I end up selling all my shares, do more shares than I originally owned go back to the market? Once the warrants are exercised, yes, but not until they're exercised. As if you keep them as warrants, then no, they stay in the warrant category. Well, that's very interesting. Like, yeah, like I said, I think it might have something to do with the convert price on the bonds, because over the auto convert price on the bonds is like up in that area. And so if you get close, or if you're up in that area, you can acquire the warrants. Like, let's say you're trading in the 35s, you have the bonds. Like, the bonds will auto convert to shares, but maybe you shorted them, or you've extra shorted them, or something like that. Maybe you can use these to close out your short position. I'm not exactly sure. I need time to think through this. They likely will not do a call, no. Yeah, they work like 1/100th of a call, but you'll get 10 of them. So effectively, like every 10 is 1/10 of a call. So every 100 shares you have, you get issued 1/10 of a call to 32. And they're going to have, they'll have an implied volatility component. Likely they'll have a component for the way that the pricing will go, they'll get priced similar to options. Similar, but not the same. Yeah, this is a big wild card. What are we price wise right now? Oh, we're back up in the 24s. But instant price up, which is cool. Got that double beat, special dividend, 528 million in Bitcoin holdings. Yup. I don't know, guys. We might just go up now. I don't want to be too enthusiastic, but yeah, there you go. Only dilutive if you sell your warrants. It does do that too. If you want to contribute to the capital raise, you can do that with these, right? Shareholders could not participate in the convertible bond raises. Retail, anyway. Ooh. Never say never, Jet Geek. Never say never, man. I would not put it. I would not put it past. I would not put it past Wall Street to figure out some way to short this stuff and to loan it. Would not be surprised. Which is very cool because Q2 is usually the worst quarter. Well, Q1 is usually the worst quarter. Q2 is not great though. Ooh. Yes. If Roaring Kitty still has his 9 million shares, then yes, he will get 900,000 warrants. Bernice just continuing to land. I remember the line from, is it Dodgeball? Dodgeball with Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn's team is like going to compete, right? And then they go up against like a Girl Scout troop for like the qualifying round, and they lose. But then the Girl Scouts get disqualified in a technicality because, or not a technicality, they're disqualified, but because one of their students is on performance enhancing drugs, and this is announced, and then like the head Girl Scout goes and turns and goes like, "God damn you, Bernice!" Oh, if we all exercise, yeah, I think so. That is right. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This is a wild card. Am I necessarily going to do it? Man, I don't know. I might go a little more conservative on the. Well, let's see. The warrants aren't going to be trading until after October. They're not going to be trading until October 3rd. What was with the October 7th thing? Or they're all going to get issued on the 3rd, and I think they're going to start trading on October 7th. Is that right? No, they're distributed. Oh, sorry, the marking day for the end dividend date is October 3rd, but they'll be delivered on October 7th. Happy birthday to me. I'll take it. That's a good question. I don't think so. Well, with a certain level of options position, right? Because like you could sell if you had, say, like in the money, if you had in the money calls, you could sell covered calls on them, right? You can do a poor man's covered call. These are out of the money, though. But you're holding them, so you could exercise them if you had to. But you'd have to do, I don't know, maybe there's a way to do it. Use them as collateral. You probably, I don't know. You might have to call your broker about it though. Something like this, Dan. I'm not exact. See, that's the thing is I never really got the bond trade 100% clear exactly how that whole conversion thing would play out for the institutions that hold them. I mean, I get the basic idea, but like the end game of the bonds for the institutions that hold them and have hedged them is not 100% clear to me. But I think there's something at play there. Very clearly, there's a connection between these and the convertible bonds. I'm not sure exactly what it is though, in terms of the actual game that's being played. Very nice, very nice. So once the warrants start trading, they are going to get arbitraged. Like there is going to be arb trading on them. They're not going to be hedged like options, but there will be arbitrage. But I mean, that's going to be up to the individual institutions, I guess, that trade them. Because whoever's got the bonds is going to get these. So, like 1/5 of these is going to whoever bought the convertible bonds. So they will arbitrage these. That's the thing too. These are being issued. They're being issued directly to the convertible bondholders. So the idea there is they, must be of some utility to whoever these folks are. But it is going to be different than, an options market maker. These are being traded by a market maker, but I suppose there is going to be a market made for the warrants. That's right. It is in dodgeball. It is beaver performance enhancing drugs. That's right. Joshua, I don't know about that. They don't let you know that it is. So I have no idea if they won't let you know that it's not. You just have to, you got to do some trading experiments and see what happens with your order flow. And also hopefully not get banned. Guido, what'd you miss? Warrants, man. We're getting warrants. They are not limited to DRS shares. Convertible bondholders get them. And unless your broker does not deliver them to you, unless there's some special clause where the broker doesn't deliver them to you, then you should get them. When I had back in the day, 2022, when I was trading AMC, I arbitrage traded AMC in the ape dividend back in 2022, and yeah, and I think that was still TD Ameritrade at the time, and they sent them over. Yeah, I don't know. No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be only DRS. Although DRS folks will get them, but your broker, depending on your broker's policy with warrants. This is very interesting. Where'd you see this, Johnny Landy? I think that basically means that it's what I said earlier. When shorts who are short the stock are also now short the warrants. So if you're short, 40 million shares of GameStop, you're also short 4 million warrants. So as you close your position, you can't just buy a share to close it. You also have to close. You also have to do. You have to deliver a warrant. I think something like that. I think he's trying to get institutions to capitulate on this stuff by introducing too many variables. I would not be surprised. And by doing so, by getting institutions to join the long side of the trade, I think then shorts are like, this thing is a disaster. This thing is a nightmare. Close our positions. Just get out of this thing. Wouldn't be surprised. Ooh, 24/7. Yeah. What's up, Dennis? Oh, hey, we went up to 25 again. So, more or less, the signaling from the company about offerings with the bonds, right? With the bonds, the company did not tell us about a particular offering on the day of earnings. My thought going into this was, if we get news on an offering scheme with earnings, then we won't get a convertible bond offering. If we didn't have anything announced, then it's possible we'd have another convertible bond offer. One thing that made me think we might not see another one this time around is that what the company basically did for the convertible bonds was take its cash pile and then leverage it times 2. So there are as many, the company raised as much cash as it had cash. So it just doubled its cash on a 5 and on a 7-year 0 interest loan, which with an option to convert in the lower 30s, 33-ish, 34-ish, something like that, and 32-ish. And now it's doing this, which is just below, right? The conversion price is just below the bonds. Bondholders get these, but anybody who's short the stock is also short these. So this doesn't get the company cash now. It gets the company cash in the future, likely. So I think what I don't know. I think what this means is there's an expectation maybe that I don't know, a move up into, because then they're all worthless, right? They're worthless if the company doesn't go above $32, by that point. At any point, right? Because you could convert them early. The company could run to 40 and then you bought at 32 and now they're 40 and so you go ahead, something like that. This all makes me think this is an attempt to break the cycles and turn things into slow squeeze. Just earnings reports come out, the stock price is up, it holds on to its value. We go forward. There's a little vol in between. Yeah, this. If the warrant dividend significantly increases financial burden on short sellers, some might be compelled to close their position by buying back shares. Yeah. Nope, there's always a market maker. Not a designated one, but institutions will have at least 1/5 of these. So institutions will be making that market. We're all getting 1/10 of a $32 call for next October for every 100 shares we have. So pretty good double beat on revenue and EPS. So hard to do better than that. Not sure about this week. There's a lot at 25. I'll bet it changes. But whether the call wall will move is a different question. Yes. Yeah, the warrant price will change. There'll be a market for the warrants. But as share price moves above $32, you can convert, right? So if the stock is 35, if it goes, just like a call, right? If it goes to 35 or it goes to 40 and you've got the warrant, you can convert the warrant to shares. Yeah. They're going to be on your brokerage web. So you can track them. There's a market for the bonds. These are the earlier ones, right? So these have been trading. They've got an IV premium baked into them. These are the bonds from March. So they'll come up. GMEWR is going to come up as a ticker, and your broker might trade them. Your broker might not. Something like that is my guess. I mean, it's priced up several dollars. Yep, we in that box, Hoogs. Warrant out for GME. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Rule 390. I'm not sure. It won't reset if they ban you first. Oh, did Cohen just tweet? What's he say? Not bad for a piece of crap retailer. Very nice. Oh, excuse me. Guys, GameStop is finished. It is very clearly a dying brick and mortar. That's why it just had a double earnings beat, posted the first profitable quarter two in the last 4 years, and is now offering a special dividend to all of its shareholders. It's over, guys. It's over. We may as well just walk away now. That's going to be funny if they do. We're an ETF that specializes in holding GameStop's 1-year warrants. We have a complex hedging strategy that allows us to hold none of the underlying and also arbitrage these warrants. Give us your money for the low management fee of 9% per year. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, this felt like March, right? This feels like March. We're all like, what is he doing? We got to figure this out. Hey, cheers, San Diego, Dad. That's very nice of you. Thank you, man. Yeah, there's there are some of the Richard crews in the house. Connecticut represent. What's up, John? What's a trap? Yeah. I use one. I love that meme. Sir, we have enemy ships in Sector 37. Tell all ships to move into Sector 37. It's a trap. Yeah. Doesn't really make sense why it's a trap though. Just like go down, you know? In that scene, I remember, right? They show up and like on one side it's the Death Star, and then on the other one it's like Star Destroyers. But you can go up or down, you know? Like you just hyperspace up and just go away. I don't know. Maybe they'd like chase you or something. It's cinematic. I'm not trying to overthink it. It's a good scene. I have no idea what this means for swaps. No idea. No idea, Simple Rick. No idea. Something like that. There could be a down the road. There could be a floor dynamic in there at $32. Yup. Yup. Wild card. Yep. All the potential strategies. Yup. Yeah. Gonna need to go to the drawing board. Slow ass is back on the table. Cheers, M. Go Blue. Cheers, Dan. Thanks for stopping by. Great comments. Great questions as always. Great to see you, my friend. Yeah, it's true, Master. If if the share price is at $64, you can sell to exercise and get shares for free. Yeah, you can sell the warrant, man. They're going to trade under GME WS, GME WR, something like that. Yeah, you can sell them if you don't. Yeah, they're tradable. They're tradable. That's what I'm saying. It's like a 1 year. It's like 13-month call option. 13-month $32 call option. But you'll have 10 of them. They'll be 1/10, right? They'll kind of map to 1/10 what a call option would map to. It depends on when the price goes to $35. It's like a call, right? So right now, a $32 call now for next year is priced at already $3. If we go to $35 now, then they're going to be like $10 a pop. Something like that. It'll be priced similar to an option. Yeah, that's right. On the Marine Kitty PMO. I don't. Did you say that? Somebody said that. Maybe I did read that. Yeah. Yeah, Roaring Kitty's PMO started to move up today. The 55, the deep line here. Yep, right here. Moved up 0.02, but it's on its way up. So we're in it. Time to oscillate back up for a couple months. Project Rocket. Hey, man, the warrants, calling this Project Rocket, the warrants really make me think of the Rocket Squeeze. Really make me think of the Rocket Squeeze. That was in 2021 also. I wonder if the Rocket Squeeze had some tie to GameStop, because that was the Rocket Squeeze popped off right around the time that Bill Huang, that Archegos blew up. That was a very high profile one, but it wasn't related to the same basket is the thing. I don't think RKT was in that basket because it didn't run. I don't think it ran. Maybe it did. No, it didn't. It didn't run with the other meme stocks. It ran a little bit. Oh, it ran a bit, but not that much. It ran. See, it ran with the sneeze, but not a lot. And then it did the special dividend right before Huang blew up. 2 weeks, I think, before he blew up. Could be, Kurt. Yeah, I might bump up a bit. To tell you the truth, I might bump up the strikes a bit. No, it's not. It's not registered. You're registered as a shareholder through your brokerage. They just have it in custody for you. Your brokerage should deliver, unless there's a specific clause, like Robinhood has some clause where they sell, they won't deliver the warrants. But if you have a broker, if you have like Fidelity or you have Schwab or you have, I don't know, E-Trade or whatever it is, if it's a true brokerage, you will get your shares, you will get your warrants, but they will also be held by your broker in custody for you. Because they're gonna issue 59 million, right? They're gonna issue 59 million, so they don't just not show up. You'll get them, but I don't know. Maybe there's something else to that. Yeah, let me take a look here. Let's see, do we get the 10Q? I can't even get it to come up. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens if there's a bunch of synthetic short or synthetic shares out there. I think it's just that whoever is short has to come up with has to just buy that many more, right? All shorts are future buyers. Shorts are toast. Done. Yeah, I held off. I held some. I think I hold some September 1927s on like a quarter, a third of the portfolio, but that's it. Because I already bought shares with the cash. It is indeed. It is indeed the best. All right, everybody, listen. This was really, really awesome. Very awesome to live stream this with you guys. This was a lot of fun. Obviously, you're going to be spending some time tomorrow digesting this stuff, thinking about what this might mean. But that's a 1-2-3. That's a 1-2-3 knockout there from Ryan and Cohen and the GameStop board. Very excited for the dividend. Stoked about the double beat. Obviously, stock price responding very, very well. Very excited to see see about some of this last second, maybe adjustments to the options market. But yeah, it's going to be we're going to have a little bit of an adventure, I think, this week. Very interesting, very interesting. So thank you guys once again. This was really great. Really appreciate you guys coming in here with questions. Great enthusiasm. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys later this week. And maybe we can do another one of these on Friday, as is our usual thing, right? We can go into this in a little bit more detail, see if any new details pop up. So thank you guys very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. Soak in that post earnings glory there. And this is one more brick in the yellow brick road, I think, toward slow ass here. So thanks very much, you guys. We'll see you later this week.